Friends, Romans, welcome to BSC News Live. Tom and obviously Ben, you might remember yesterday we looked at staking core, withdrawing it from Huobi. We have great news. Huobi withdrawals have been processed. That happened, I think, around 8 hours ago or so. I asked on their Telegram, and the mod said, they're doing a manual review of the withdrawals, but I struggle to believe that. There can't be just some guy scrolling through there. But long story short, we've got our core. So what we're going to start off with, something quite special or exciting. What to do now? What can we do with it? Obviously, yesterday we looked on the sort of main core delegation node part of their website. You can delegate it there. And also, Ben mentioned creating a liquidity pair as well. So, Ben, if it's all good with you, I'll hand over to you, sir. And what do we do with our core?
Sure, let's do it. There are two things, and my screen's up there. We're going to start by delegating to the network, and then we will set up a yield farming position. So delegating to a validator. And I apologize, I'm going to be looking this way to my other screen here. So first, we've got to decide which validator to go with. I'm just going to go with one on the list with a low commission. Obviously, there's a lot of delegators going with node that has a 46% APR. I'm going to go down here to unparalleled for no reason other than high APR, low commission. It's really just kind of just going with it. And I actually haven't done any of this yet, so this is kind of just like a dry run here. So I've already connected my wallet where I've got my core. I'm going to click detail. And I'm going to click delegate. And just for fun, let's delegate 10 core. Hopefully that pulls up a confirmation, which it did. So 10 core. But go ahead.
I was going to say it's going to be interesting to see how quick it is. I don't really know what the transactions per second or anything are on core, so exciting stuff.
Yeah, and just to let you know, you can't see this on the screen share, but the fee is 0.000149 core.
That's good.
So 0.001 of $3.42.
That's fair.
Fraction of a penny.
Lovely. Solana.
So that has been it's delegating. See, one thing we weren't sure about is if there was any cooldown period on staking. So now I have been. Let's see, you want to have updated it. I'm just going to give it a refresh. Okay, now I can technically undelegate here. I can transfer.
Oh, to another node? Or
yes, so you can actually transfer to another.
That's good.
Validator without having to withdraw and then delegate. Yeah, and so let's say one gas fee of a fraction of a penny. If I were to undelegate, it doesn't give me the option to undelegate a certain amount. We just hit confirm and see what happens. See if these end up back in my wallet. Interesting is when I went to delegate, it didn't ask me to choose how much. Typically you might just want to undelegate a portion. They are all wallet. So this is a little different than I think what I'm used to. So you can refer to other validators without having to delegate your core. And the other, when you undelegate, you have to undelegate everything.
Yeah.
So,
but it's useful that you can transfer it to other validators. So
yeah, like, easy to manage, right? On those, if you're trying to just really get the highest APR possible, you can check in every day and say, all right, well, a lot of people came into unparalleled, so I'm going to go to a different one, and you can just do a single transaction transfer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so or even if your validator goes offline or something, it's very easy to one-stop shop, bish bosh bam, done, which is good. I see that you went for, so that APR isn't the highest, and also but it's, I think, the lowest, but it doesn't hold the majority of token share. Did you just use that validator as an example?
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
fine. Yeah.
the one with the most will have the lowest APR because they're in the pot, right? Of whatever rewards that validator's getting. So, there's a lot of activity. Like, if you look at the same minute,
Whoa.
all of these were happening.
Yeah.
So, in just 1 minute, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 delegators just to this. I believe it's just to this validator. May not be the case. Good. But either way, that is, a ton of on-chain activity.
Yeah, good to see.
Obviously, good to see.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. What I get is, let me click on my staking. Okay. I haven't earned, I haven't earned anything yet, that at least not to the decimal that it would show.
Yeah.
So I might check in on this and in a few hours see if anything shows up there.
No, that's good. It will be interesting to see. I'm surprised in a way that there's no sort of early, early withdrawal punishment or anything, or there's not like a lockup time frame that you sort of have to stick to. Yeah, but in a way that's good for the consumer, but perhaps not necessarily good for the stability of core.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think if there's other. So BNB chain has a cooldown period. I don't, Ethereum, I don't think that's even I don't think withdrawals have even opened yet.
Okay.
People that have been staking for like a long time.
Yeah.
So I am, I'm trying to think of an example of a blockchain where there is no time, and I'm just not familiar with enough blockchains. If you stake Solana, is there any cooldown period? I don't know. So either way, super easy. I'm earning. If I want to, I can switch to a different validator very easily. And maybe we just do that real quick, just to say, well, let me go back to pick one. I would like now to move to, actually, let's go to DAO Validator 9. Still high up on the list, a great APY. So DAO Validator 9 is where I would like to go. So I wonder what happens if I just click on there. I can do anything. I have to go back to, I'm going to forget where I'm at and then have to find it. Okay, unparalleled. Transfer to DAO Validator 9. Confirm that. And really what I'm trying here is I'm just trying everything, seeing if anything doesn't work right or whatever. But so far, very good. A lot of activity, very smooth. That transferred. I think when I refresh, this box should disappear. It did. And now if I go to DAO Validator 9, oh, I have to connect again. That is interesting. So when you go to a new validator, you haven't connected to that page yet. Yep, and the box for me to undelegate or transfer.
Fine. Okay. Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's APR as well, so it's not auto compounding, but you can't have everything nowadays.
Yeah, so
Um,
it's not APY.
yeah.
And oh, this is where we could figure out, man, so much activity on this
Yeah.
blockchain. Crazy. It's really good, especially for something so new. To have to see this many people delegating every minute
It's
is pretty
good.
amazing. All right, and now so we don't run out of time before our guest comes on, I'm gonna switch over to Ice Cream Up, which I was kind of poking around on their website. So let me get to the home screen. Ice Cream Swap appears to be kind of your pretty mainstream normal DEX. They're on a bunch of different chains. I'll start by saying me using this right now is not an endorsement of Ice Cream Swap in any way, shape, or form. There's risk in any application you use on the blockchain. So, I'm willing to risk on Ice Cream Swap to get the APYs that you're about to see. And I haven't done anything yet with Ice Cream Swap aside from connect my wallet, which I actually need to connect my core wallet. There we go. All right. So starting with the farms, if you pair core with USDT, you get 238% APY. I'm not sure what this USDT is because core did announce that they will be working with, I believe, layer 0.
Sorry.
Clicking on too
Sorry.
many buttons there.
Yeah. There we are. Yeah. Okay.
I think they announced on their Twitter that they'll be working with layer 0 to bridge assets, including USDT. So, not currently sure what this USDT is. That's one thing that's like, all right, who bridges USDT over? Maybe the core team itself.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to go to swap to get some USDT in order. Actually, just interesting tokens. Core Inu, Core, your classic meme coins to just right away.
Yeah. Are there any NFTs at the moment on Core? I assume there are.
Yes, you would have to go to. Oh, so Ice Cream Swap
Okay.
actually bridge this over, and I'm sure they're using someone in the background. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Who they're using. Could be multi-chain. Could be anyone. So you have classic. That's funny. So
Yeah,
anyway,
funny.
I want to earn. So just for fun, I create a 10 core LP position. Price impact is not bad. And actually, I'm kind of curious. USDT is showing the DEX is showing core valued at $3.62. I don't know if you can check real quick on, let's say, CoinMarket.
Oh, wow. Well, on Gate.io at the moment, it's $3.44.
So a little price difference. There's actually some arbitrage opportunity there.
Yeah.
For those interested, it's about 7 or 8% price difference.
Yeah.
So, not financial advice, but you could probably be arbitraging more.
The annoying thing about trying to arbitrage between DeFi or a decentralized to a centralized exchange is the time that it takes to actually get your assets on to the centralized exchange. It's not like instant, like DeFi. But yeah, that's a reasonably big price difference.
Yeah, so especially if core, if it takes 24 hours to withdraw from an exchange right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't attempt to arbitrage with that amount of time.
A very long arbitrage.
Yeah. So let's go ahead, do a swap. Price is moving fast. Going to go ahead again. The fee 0.00015 core, so almost free, right?
Yeah.
A fraction of a penny. That actually failed. So maybe because I took my time talking instead of approving, and the price is moving fairly quickly.
Mm.
Which is, otherwise, increase my slippage here to get it to go through. And this, having these failures, okay, that grew with a volatile thing is not that crazy. So anyway, I have the two assets I want to pair, Core and USDT. This should be a step-by-step guide. I'm going to go to add liquidity. I want Core, and I want my USDT. Now I'm going to choose max here. I traded 5 Core to USDT, and it already requires 5.3 Core to pair. So there's definitely have to approve the usage of USDT. An $36 liquidity position is actually going to be almost 0.5% of the total liquidity in the pool. So,
wow,
early.
That's so the liquidity mustn't be that much then.
So 1% would be $70, right? So what's 100 times 70? Add 2 zeros to 70. $7,000 of liquidity.
Is that maybe that's why there's so much price difference between DEX and CEX?
It could be.
Yeah.
So again, that's okay. That failed again. None of this is that surprising. It's very new. There's not a lot of liquidity on chain yet. You're going to have little issues, right? Some failed transactions. We'll see if this will go through. The good thing is, that failed again. So, this is a real-time test of core blockchain.
Indeed.
And we'll just keep trying.
Yeah. And sort of leading on from what you're talking about at the moment, obviously, if the price is volatile, if there's not much liquidity, often you'll need to change your slippage. At the moment, you've got it at 0.5, and with maybe even new token releases and volatile, or even tokens that require tax, you do need to change your slippage to quite high. I know some tokens require 8% tax even. That might be to fund the project, or it might be part of their tokenomics to become deflationary, any number of reasons. However, that leads us on to our sponsor, which is BSC Protect RPC from Bloxroot. I'm just going to bring up their QR code. I have them in the comments on Twitter as well, if you're watching. So all you need to do is just scroll down from this video on Twitter if you're looking and see there. So what Bloxroot BSC Protect does on the BSC or BNB network, it provides you with an RPC URL that will guarantee you're not front run or sandwiched attacked. And so what this means, you may have seen perhaps on Dex Screener, PooCoin or something, that before your transaction and also after your transaction, there's either a large buy or a large sell, and then also after that, a large sell or a large buy. And that person is essentially using your slippage to get a good price for their trade. They'll put in a higher gas amount, a higher gas fee, so their transaction is processed before yours, but often in the same block. It all happens, to the human being pretty much instantaneously. However, using Bloxroot BSC Protect, it's completely free. You can mitigate this risk. All you need to do, as I said, is add their custom RPC URL to MetaMask and any other wallet as well. The QR code is there. You can easily just scan that. It'll take you to their documentation and explain more in depth about it. Also on our Twitter comments, it's there for you to, for your perusal, which is good. So certainly worth checking out. Personally, I personally use this, and I don't see why anyone using the BNB chain wouldn't use it. Essentially, it's exactly the same as your standard BNB chain RPC URL, apart from you get the protection of you're not going to get front run, which is very good indeed. I'm going to take away the big QR code. There is a little QR code just down there as well. And also, I'm going to have another little QR code. Actually, no, I'm not going to put that there because that sort of covers that advert a little bit. But I think soon we should be joined by one of our guests from Coinblock Capital, who are a venture capitalist firm. They should be joining us sort of any minute now. Ben, is there any more?
I've got one more step here. You cut
No,
me
great.
off right
Go
before I
ahead.
was done, but it's
Please
important
go.
that we recognize our sponsors. So, final step: I've approved this contract. I'm going to stake the liquidity position that I made and approve the transaction. And should be done here in just a couple seconds. Confirmed. And now I am earning. So, what did I do here? I provided core USDT liquidity to the market. So every time there's a trade, I'm going to collect trading fees. And, every time there's a trade between core and USDT within Ice Cream Swap, I will collect trading fees and I'm going to earn ICE token or ICE token as an additional liquidity incentive. And whenever I want, I can harvest it, my earnings, and trade them to USDT. So this is a great way to just earn additional interest on your assets. Figure what we did on this quick stream part here was I'm earning about 100% APY on just single staked core as a delegator, and I'm earning 238% APY on pairing wrapped core with USDT. I'm pretty stoked about it, to be honest. There's not a lot of liquidity yet. Obviously, it's brand new. There's going to be, I already saw there's another DEX that's getting ready to launch. They're on testnet already. So we're probably going to start to see more on-chain activity. And then as the exchanges get more, efficient with their withdrawals, we'll start to see that arbitrage trading kick in, and people trade the core to arbitrage, I'll be getting trading fees. So happy to be in that position, especially as an early liquidity provider. I've already earned a little bit of ICE token, and I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on this, and easy money.
That's good. Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Obviously, you're in there early, and with only what we think is essentially $7,000 liquidity, hopefully, you'll earn a lot. I'm looking now at various sort of, DEX screener places, for example, like DEX screener. I've just hopped on PooCoin as well, but then it doesn't have core network. DEX screener at the moment doesn't have, core DAO at the moment either, so you can sort of explore different pairs on there. Do you know of any websites at all or platforms that support core DAO, sort of like as an LP explorer or that sort of thing? Because at the moment, obviously, you can access their block explorer, but that's sort of quite raw data.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably the only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
I just pulled up core scan from one of my deals here, from one of my transactions, just to look at it, and it looks a lot like Etherscan or BSC scan. So very familiar for an EVM Explorer. It's very concise. Looks good. I don't know if anyone's tracking it yet in terms of what do you call it? A DeFi Llama standpoint of looking at the TVLs and things. I don't think it's tracked it yet.
Yeah.
But it's only been live for 3 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
there you go. No, but it is very interesting. We can obviously check back in tomorrow and see how it's going. If there's any updates with your delegation, LP staking, or obviously the price of core as well. At the moment, it is down a little bit from yesterday. As I'm saying this, the centralized exchanges are pretty much all the same, with OKX at $3.43, Gate at $3.43, and MEXC at $3.43. Obviously, on Ice Cream Swap, it is a little bit cheaper at the moment, which is cool. But then, arbitraging between DEX and centralized exchange, because yeah, it takes a while perhaps for the centralized exchange to process your assets and to sort of display them on their graphical user interface. It might not be the best idea. Not financial advice, but there could be a arbitrage opportunity there.
There is one other thing. Oh, is our guest on?
Not yet. No, they should be joining any
okay.
moment, but you'll be able to see them pop up. Yeah.
Okay. One other thing. Ice Cream Swap tweeted that if you use their bridge to go from one of the chains they're already on, and you bridge, USDT or whatever, or their own token, ICE token, it will actually give you a little bit of core to transactions. So you don't have any core yet, and you don't have anywhere to buy it. This is actually that type of bridge is what I like to use to get to new chains.
That's good.
For example, when I bridged to Optimism a couple weeks ago for the first time. So I use Synapse to send stablecoin, and Synapse will give you, $2 of the gas token for Optimism, and then you can immediately start, interacting with the blockchain. So that's very useful, and I can see a lot of bridgers to the chain using that. So I haven't tested it yet myself, but super useful little fact there. If you don't have core, but you want core, you can just bridge straight to the blockchain on Ice Cream Swap.
Yeah.
And maybe just to take a look at it, it looks like I wanted to bridge to BNB chain. I don't think I could bridge core there. I cannot. But I could select USDT and bridge it over back to BNB chain or vice versa. Very handy.
Bob's your uncle. Perfect. And I don't suppose there is a CoreDAO faucet anywhere yet, or with I don't think there would be. Yeah, but one of the issues with DeFi is sometimes actually having the gas token to start off with. If a person sends you, say, USDT to a completely new wallet, and you perhaps don't, you're not signed up to a centralized exchange that offers that gas token, it can be very hard to actually get that gas token. So yeah, I don't know of a CoreDAO faucet, but obviously if there is, we'll let you know. If you're watching and you know of one, let us know. I'm pretty sure there probably wouldn't be at the moment or even ever. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting as well to, if you're listening to this, how do you manage, for example, if you can't get the gas token? Do you perhaps get a friend to send it to you or something? Quite a lot of places do have faucets, but then, well, in the last year, maybe year and a half or so, a few of them have stopped just because of abuse. But anyway, is there anything more, Ben, that you'd like to say about Core at all before we move on to perhaps other things and also our guest?
I don't think so. I think I've got the position set up, and then maybe in a week's time, maybe we check in on how have the earnings gone, how has the liquidity pair done, how has the delegation done, what's the price of Core? We can't talk about it every day, as much as maybe we wish we could. However, DeFi is a large space, so yeah, I mean this will be interesting to just keep an eye on. And,
most certainly.
Pretty excited.
Our guest quickly joined and then thought we were doing another podcast, and we were live, and it thought he popped from the screen, so he's quickly left. So I'm just going to send him a message very shortly, so he should be with us again quite soon. However, a bit of news that you might have seen happen yesterday is Kraken. So I'm just going to bring an article up on the Financial Times, 2 moments, and I think this is quite significant, and it'll be interesting to see what and if the knock-on effect for the rest of the industry will be. So crypto exchange Kraken ends staking program and pays 30 million in SEC case. Obviously, all around crypto, there's staking, and Kraken essentially just ending theirs completely and paying the SEC, a very powerful entity, and a very persuasive entity, and an entity that can really change the prices of a lot of assets within crypto. it's quite a significant thing. And during this time as well, when that news was essentially announced, I'm just going to quickly bring up another chart. Bitcoin did drop. So it was around here. Actually, yeah, hold on. I think it was around there. Yeah, so, yeah, hold on. Yeah, okay, it was around here that the Kraken and news was announced. And yeah, you can see people perhaps got a little bit wary and there's a little sell-off. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. If you're into technical analysis, there's something forming there. It could be some sort of triangle, hexagram, hexalogagon, whatever you want. Who knows what's going to happen? But I think the news with Kraken, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Will other centralized exchanges follow this? Well, do the same that Kraken has done and take away staking? I can maybe see that happening. I don't see perhaps why they wouldn't. Obviously, no one wants to pay a $30 million fine. Have you got any thoughts, Ben, about how this could affect the industry as a whole, maybe other centralized exchanges as well?
I do. So, Gary Gensler put out one of his trying to be hip videos. They do, where he was making a lot of stake STAK jokes. It's very entertaining. I think you can probably go to the SEC's Twitter. It's just like an old man trying to connect with the young audience, so it's fine. It's not really the point of the video, though. The point is what he really kept hammering in was, and we have to read the detail of the case, but what he kept hammering in was if an intermediary clearly telling the consumer what they're doing with their money, they are not SEC compliant. So, what that tells me is there was something about the staking program that didn't meet the eye. Well, maybe there was some lending also wrapped into it. There's some, I don't know. ICE came out and said, this suit has nothing to do with how Coinbase handles its staking for like Ethereum. So does that mean Ethereum, when you go to stake ETH on Coinbase, maybe it's clear as day. They tell you, here's what's going on, here's the risks. This is letting the consumer know what they're participating in. Whereas with Kraken, it appeared, and just taking Gary Gensler's point, Gary Gensler actually he's not your crypto in his video. So they have a problem with the financial intermediaries putting user funds at risk, and this should not be a surprise to anyone given BlockFi, Gemini, FTX, right? Like, I don't think people should necessarily be upset about this, right? It's the SEC is going to institutions and protecting user assets at these institutions. There was no comment about how staking itself is a problem in Gary's explanation video. Yeah. Do they have a problem with staking? Maybe, I don't know. But his point seemed to be like, he even said in the video, when you put your assets on an exchange, according to the terms of service, typically you're transferring ownership to the exchange, and they're technically allowed to do whatever they want with the assets. Which,
indeed,
for any crypto native person, that should be problematic to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My takeaway is they don't like the fact that these exchanges have earned products where you can get high yields on stable coins. You can get all these different things, but there's so much risk going on in the background that the user doesn't really understand is happening. You just kind of assume, I'm going to make 4% safely on my stable coin. But what really happens is it gets loaned out to Alameda Research and they lose it.
Yeah. So a staking from a centralized entity that manages your tokens, as opposed to, say, an automated smart contract platform. Yeah. And I think, that in a lot of centralized exchanges, in their terms and conditions, having that essentially their tokens are yours, and it was I think maybe 6 months ago in the terms and conditions of uh, it might have been Coinbase, but again, I'm not 100% sure at all. So it might be something else. But that it was something like, in the event of a bankruptcy, essentially they can use your funds. I don't really know the correct term. However, our guest might know the correct term. Um, yeah, who's coming up next, who is actually from a venture capital firm, Coinblock Capital, as it says in the title. Ben, before we introduce our guest, is there anything else that you'd like to share, but maybe more thoughts about Kraken or anything else?
No, actually, I think we should bring our guest up here, and he will probably have a lot of insights on this area.
Fantastic. Well, here we go. Hubert,
Hello.
hello, welcome. Apologies that there's been a little bit of a delay sort of getting you on. Lots of stuff going on. So welcome to the stream. Welcome to BSC News. My name is Tom. With me, we have Ben, who is one of the co-founders and also CFO of BSC News. So it's great to have you here. Hubert, would you like to introduce yourself
Yeah.
and a little bit about Coinblock Capital?
Yeah. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Ben, for having me here. I met one of your colleagues, Dan, on conference in London. That's how we basically meet up. So yeah, thank you guys for inviting me here. My name is Hubert Data. I'm the CEO and founder of Coinblock Capital. We are in the space for the last, I would say, 5-6 years. We are in the space since 2017, but we started from a bit more like agency point of view. We firstly wanted to get in the crypto and learn and help projects. I didn't really wanted to invest. I mean, we did invest, but in like a bigger projects. Not like the smaller ones. But we still wanted to learn from the industry, learn from the people there, and so on and so on. So we started helping other projects for free in 2017, and slowly we changed our business to the investment vehicle in 2020, 2021, where it was very easy to invest and find good projects. Me personally, I come from marketing background, business, fundraising, things like that. So I've been in the space for the last over 6 years, like I said. And yeah, right now we are mainly focused on gaming. We don't have any LPs, and that's good for us because I hear just more and more VCs are struggling to raise funds, and it's not good. I stand with the point, like if your VC is profitable, like why do you need really someone else's money? Why would you put someone else's money and earn like 50, like 20, 30% from it if you can just do it with your own money and earn 100% from it? So that's our thesis. We are very heavily into gaming. Last year we invested over 30, 40 projects. We didn't list them on website, but we just added some of them. But yeah, that's it about us. We are still investing even in this market. I know it's very hard. But yeah, right now we shift a bit more to like revenue businesses. We're trying to find projects that have like real revenue and for at least 2, 3, 4 years, not just product or an idea. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Hubert. Yeah, very interesting. And why are you deciding to invest a lot in gaming at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's because it's very easy to. I mean, it's way easier to determine if the project is good or not in gaming. And I personally have some very good friends in gaming. I have a lot of connections in Tencent, in Gameloft, in Miniclip, in Microsoft Gaming. I met many guys on the conference, on gaming conference. I'm a gamer myself. I've been playing Counter Strike, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all of the games since always, basically. And when I see other infrastructures, I like them too. But for me, most of them are just like they're not real, like, because for example, for me, sometimes I feel like DeFi for me is like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, like there's just new founder every single week, every single day saying, oh, join our chain, join our, bridge. It's, amazing, low fees, zero fees, impermeability, everything. It's amazing, and so on and so on. And for us just like a copy of a copy, when in gaming, you don't have like really copies, you just have, like a good project or a bullshit project, if you see a project is managed by guys that have no idea what gaming is, they have no idea how to acquire users, they have no idea how to basically work with other games as partnerships and so on and so on, then you know what's good or what's not good, so yeah, the reason is very easy. Just to answer your question, in gaming, it's way easier to determine if the game is good or not, and there are like actual users there. Where in the other ecosystem, I would say it's way easier to fake these kind of numbers like users and so on and so on. So yeah.
Interesting. With Web3 gaming projects, if I just have a browse, say on Twitter, at different Web3 gaming projects, I've just got up a project now that's sort of in your portfolio on your website, Space Falcon, and that the NFT does look very, very very impressive indeed. But with a lot of Web3 gaming projects, I find that they're based largely off just asset packs, and it's just a reskin of asset packs that they just got online, and a lot of even their advertising material as well. You can just reverse Google image search, and it'll just come up with their asset pack. So I think a lot of projects, perhaps, well, I'm not sure I want to call them projects, but a lot of people are using the sort of Web3 gaming hype at the moment to their advantage to maybe benefit from it. But what you've seemingly invested in, it does look very, very interesting and unique. And in terms of the future of Web3 gaming, also actually, you said you're a gamer. If you ever play Escape from Tarkov, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go in a raid with you. But the future of Web3 gaming, what do you think it's going to be like? And also, how many actions are going to be stored on chain? Because there's one game that we're going to have on, I think quite, in the future, we've got them booked in, is Star Atlas. And I'm a big fan of that game. And they say that the final release of that, everything, even individual bullets, bullet hits, the amount of food that you're eating and everything like that, is going to be stored on chain. It's on Solana, so the gas fees will be relatively low, but they say everything in their game is going to be stored on chain. But in your view, what do you think the future of Web3 gaming is going to be like? And what aspects of that could be stored or will be stored on chain?
Yeah. So in my opinion, I feel like the blockchain is too young. In my opinion, I think that we are too early. And I feel like many gaming studios and many projects in crypto with gaming, they're trying to make it too complicated, I feel like they're just trying to make another Battlefield, another Call of Duty, or like most, like 98% of all of the projects, gaming crypto projects in crypto, they're not coming from big studios. It's either guys that left big studios like Miniclip, EA, Ubisoft, and so on and so on, or just like a few different freelancers or a DAO or whatever. We don't have yet like a big studio jumping like entirely to the crypto and being, oh guys, we'll make this project, we'll put it on Solana and stuff, and they don't do it for right now. And if a gamer if a gamer in crypto can choose between some Call of Duty game or some Battlefield type of game in crypto that 20 people or 15 people spent like 2, 4, 5 months doing, or I can choose for Battlefield from EA or Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft, where Ubisoft spent like 15 years making it,
Hmm.
and like 90% of my friends will know what's Assassin's Creed, then I will not go for this blockchain game, that 20, 15, 20 guys spent, like 5 or 6 months. I will go for Assassin's Creed, because it's way better in every single aspect.
Mm.
So what I feel is the next crypto generation will be, like next 2, 3, 4 years, or at least 1 to 3 years, is in my opinion, and that's what we are investing in. It should be easy. It should be very casual. Like casual market type. Like gaming casual is really huge market. Like I don't know, like Pac-Man, like 8 Ball Pole, like soccer, like basketball, head basketball, poker, like there's like Tetris, there's like millions games that are very easy, and they have like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million users, on Google Play and App Store. And it's because they're very easy, they're very easy to play, they're very easy to interact. So for example, I don't need like entire PC setup or whatever to play it. I just need my phone. I'm in the toilet, I'm in the metro, I'm in the school, I'm in the university or in the job, whatever, or I'm chilling with friends. I can just open my phone and play it. And that's what I think should be, like the next generation of blockchain games. We should go easy. We should go like with flow, start with easy games that anyone, because not everyone in the world have computer access, especially computer with like good specs, like Nvidia cards and so on and so on. So we cannot put, like extra high quality game and stuff for the PC as we start in blockchain, because gaming in blockchain is new. I mean, like gaming in the world exists for like last, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, in blockchain, like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. So it's very new. It's something newish. So that's in my opinion what will be like the next thing in gaming, and that's how I think the gaming should be. It should be easy, and it should be for everyone. It shouldn't be only for PC players. It shouldn't be only for guys that have a lot of money. It shouldn't be only for people that can buy an egg or something for a few $1,000s, like it was in many games that you, in order to play, you had to buy NFTs that were worth a few $1,000s. Like in the peak, that was crazy. So, and regarding the how much we are going to store it on the chain, I'm not really sure. I have seen some projects storing everything on chain. I have seen some projects, doing like their wallets off chain and some other things. Someone say it's safer, someone no. I don't really know. I think like we need to find some kind of balance. I feel like going too far in both directions is wrong. So yeah, that's
Really interesting. No, thank you very, very much, Hubert. That's very interesting perspective indeed, and certainly, makes a lot of sense. That the casual aspect. It's funny that you mention, when for example, when people on the toilet open their phone.
yeah.
That, every time. I'm obviously not talking about myself, but every time someone who isn't me goes to the toilet, on your phone, and. Yeah, very good example. Ben, I've got a few more questions and things. However, is there anything you'd like to add or ask at all?
Yeah, actually, your point about the phone game, something that. So I'm not much of a gamer, but I'm definitely like. I have usually 1 or 2 games on my phone at any given time. And then I might delete it. And then, I see an ad for one on some other app, and I'm like, yeah, that looks fun enough, and I'll download it. And they are just the games where, like, man, this was a long day of work. I'm going to sit here for 10 minutes and play this. Like, right now I'm playing Survivor IO.
Nice
Right?
shaker.
What's that?
Yeah.
No,
Sorry, I don't know why that's happening. Yeah. Okay.
And so, like, I actually just looked up that game that I have on my phone right now. It's got 120,000 reviews in the App Store, which means it probably has millions of downloads.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be a complex game. It's just like a guy that runs around shooting stuff, and eventually you die.
Yeah.
And there's really no point, right? But, like, it's just a really interesting perspective. And especially when I think most on-chain users don't have computers, right? If you
Yeah,
look at different parts of the world where people are at, like,
yeah, agree.
so if you want to target some of these audiences, but all you make is a desktop game, it's like failed before it starts.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah. And I was going to ask as well, Hubert, what are some red flags perhaps you look for in projects as a VC? Are there certain things that you'll just say, no, we're not going to? For example, a team that is completely anonymous or anything like that. Are there any red flags that, yeah, you look for as a VC?
Yeah, so being anonymous is a like very very curious case, because if you know someone famous, or if you're like very close with someone's like super high celebrity or whatever, or super, like an exchange owner or something in crypto, then it's okay. Like sometimes being anonymous is better because, for example, in some countries like China and stuff, crypto is banned. People cannot, like, I have many friends that, they're either not on LinkedIn because it's banned in their country, or if they're on LinkedIn, they cannot put like they work for crypto project, because the government will get them. So I feel like sometimes being anonymous is necessary. Like, for example, like Monero, and some other protocols that they're trying to change, how we pursue, how we see money, how we transfer money and so on. And that's okay. But if you're like making a blockchain game, or if you're making like something easy, something that will like help people, that like it won't like affect like government or money system like entirely, then I don't see like there's a point to hide yourself. Even if you have bad reputation, it's better to show it than just to stay off. For us, some of the red flags are, for example, like when we see that project is too greedy. We see when projects is with like last year in the bull market, VCs and we included were investing in almost anything, because the market was so good. But many projects started to get like very greedy. They started like their private sale. They were saying like 10% of the tokens or 15% of the tokens, which their market cap was really high. And I was telling them, guys, like you don't need this amount of tokens. You will probably be never able to spend it. If you're keeping like 90, 85% of your tokens, there's like 99.999% chance that you won't be ever able to sell it because there's just no enough liquidity and stuff, even in 5, 6, 7 years. So they are putting these crazy valuations and they don't even have a product or something. And in 2020 and 2021, it was okay, just because anything you put to the market was going up. But in the last year, we changed our thesis and we stopped investing in the projects that don't have any users. So if the red flag, the biggest red flag, I think, is just an idea. If the project's like super huge, a chain, and then it requires a lot of funds and so on, then I will understand, that you are selling your seed round to some VCs to believe in you, and then you go for the public. But if you're trying to go, if you're raised already seed and you're in the private and you have a public sale in a few months and you don't have any even product, you don't have enough users, you're just doing the marketing for the sale, just trying to sell allocation, that's a red flag for us. Another red flag is the team. For example, in gaming, if they don't know anything about games, you talk with them, you ask them, where did you guys work, what did you did in the past, what's your venture? I think like it's very easy to determine what the project is going to be just on the past of the team. If you see the team is not that much experience and they have no idea what they're building and how to build the product, and like some because I come from like very marketing background, I'm very good at like marketing and users and so on. And sometimes I just ask them, like, guys, what's your go-to market, like how you will attract users? And they're like, we'll do marketing, we'll pay influencers, we'll do idea. Okay, but guys, that's not like real user acquisition strategy. You're just saying how to raise funds, but you're not saying how you will acquire users to your product. So for me, because I come from very deep marketing background, I have other partners that are doing technology background, they're doing operations background and so on. I mainly focus on marketing, and I'm trying to see how they're going to acquire users. What's their way to bring mass adoption? What's the way to make this product easy for everyone? And I always like to use it. If it's too hard for me to understand the product, then it's probably too hard for everyone, So we skip those projects. So yeah, that's it.
Interesting. And what are your thoughts on projects or teams selling their native token to fund the project? That might be through vested unlocks, or through a high tax buy and sell transactions in DeFi. Not necessarily that much, but more sort of vested team unlocks, and then selling all those tokens to then fund the projects or pay themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So just like I said before, very quick, I feel like there always has to be some balance, as long as they're not selling everything, and we see that, they're doing it in the manner to, not impact the future of the token. They're not impacting the price of the token that much. They're doing it, with the brain. They're doing it. They know how to do it. They're not just selling. That's it. Or they just don't sell to a VC without any vesting or whatever. And we see that they're putting this money to like marketing, to influencers, to collaborations, to new team, and they're hiring. And we can see on their hiring page that they're looking for new guys and so on. That's the good sign. If they're just selling and they don't care about their like team, their users and their community, I think it's a scam. It's the same thing as it's similar thing what Logan Paul did, to his community. I would say. So yeah, that's it.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to bring up a project, and I've got a few transactions on BSC scan as well as their chart. I'm just quickly trying to line up the transactions so you can, so we can see sort of the price impact that this particular project had. But until I can actually have it confirmed and in front of me, I'll not say the project or anything. But no, that's very interesting. I do think selling a vested token block. I don't know if a large percent unlocked and they just dump them without any regard for the community, the project, essentially just because they have to pay themselves. I don't think it's sustainable. I think it's greedy, and that's just my personal opinion. About funding projects through selling your own native token. It's like cutting a bit of your finger off to feed yourself if you're hungry.
Yeah, I mean, a bit, but at the same time, they created it, and so they deserve it. They deserve to sell. They deserve to, take profit from it, because otherwise, why create token? Why grow the value of it if you cannot ever sell it? So, like I said, I think there has to be some balance. Like balance, and then it will be okay. Yeah.
Indeed. Ben, have you got any questions or thoughts at all before we move on with more questions and discussions?
No, on this topic I don't.
Cool.
I do have a potential different topic.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
You want to go for it? So this is more just about kind of gauging the market. I thought you were an interesting perspective on, is there new liquidity moving into the market? Where are we at right now? So this is more like a broad question, right? My kind of assumption is a lot of big money is just kind of sitting, waiting and watching, like what's going to happen, what's the macro picture going to shape up. What's your perspective there on funds hesitant to jump back in? Where are we at right now?
In terms of like VC background, and in terms of what's happening in like VC stage right now, and big funds investing back into the projects, to be honest, I feel like the VC stage right now is in one of the worst that it ever has been. I feel like VCs are in the very big trouble. We are a family office, so we don't have any trouble, because we are funded, and we have all of the funds are from our own pocket. But there's many VC, there's many projects, many funds that they're funded by other LPs, and there's just every single day there's just more and more people trying to sell some equity, or try like let's say they invested in some project, they bought 10% equity and they want to sell it, and there's just more and more investors trying to sell it. And me personally, I get just more and more invitations to join someone fund. So some VC is raising money to start investing other people money in projects, because they don't have any money. Many projects that invested in the last 2 years are either lost a lot of money, they lost like 50, 60, 70% of it, or they don't even have it back yet, because many projects that just start raising funds, but they haven't launched yet because the market was so poor. And if they launched, then the retail appetite was zero, was very minimum, so they weren't able to like sell their allocations and stuff.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I just feel like VCs and funds are like really big trouble right now, and I feel like we may see more situations like we saw with Almeida, and other funds, So yeah.
Yeah, because I imagine, on one hand, the token system of crypto is amazing because you can like invest in a company, get immediate cash flow, right?
Yes.
Get these token unlocks. However, if there's no market liquidity, you get, I guess, like a balance sheet item, but it's nothing tangible because you can't sell it anyway.
Yes.
Like I think like we could look at how many assets were recovered in the FTX thing.
Yeah.
If it's $5 billion, but what's its resale value? Is it really $5 billion or is it a
Yeah.
billion?
Exactly.
So I can see that a lot of funds are just sitting on tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen in the future? To an extent, well, no, I don't know. Yeah. As a VC as well, obviously you're investing a lot in games at the moment. Where do you see the future of Coinblock Capital? Are you going to keep on investing in games? And where perhaps do you see yourself in 5 years? Or I know it's a bit of a cliche question, but 5, 10 years down the line.
Yeah, sure. Great question. So, to be honest, if the market I'm really afraid that market will not improve, and I don't only mean it like, I don't mean, like we'll always sit in, like 20 something thousand, 20-ish thousand, dollars per one Bitcoin, whatever, I don't mean that. I mean like our industry, like, VC investing and, good projects coming up, not scams, not, cash grabs, not teams that were, made up like 5 weeks ago and now they're trying to raise $5 million, on 30 million valuation without any product, I just feel like it's going to be very hard for this industry to go back, because in 2021, everyone was jumping anywhere, I have to agree, and I have to say that I didn't really did that deep research into the projects, and it was only because we were investing in tokens, not equity. And just as Ben said, like tokens are very liquid, and it was very easy to sell them and very easy to gain revenue and profit. It was super easy, you invested in anything, it went up like 100 times, 50 times, 70 times, where right now you invest something and these guys are not even able to close the round, or they're raising 50% what they intended to do, or 20%, or they're raising on exchange like MEX, like tier 2, tier 3 exchanges, instead of going for big guys, they go for smaller ones because they don't have funds, they don't have money, So I'm just really afraid that this industry will not grow to what it supposed to be, what it was 1-2 years ago. And if it won't, then we'll just stick with big companies right now. Right now we're just trying to invest more in like really huge companies, I mean, like, or foundations like Ethereum, like Chainlink, like Ripple. We're trying to go for the more established guys and more bigger guys. Like more safe haven. I think it's always that way. When market goes down, all of the investors are trying to find safe haven. More established projects. So in the future, I feel like we want to do like what we are doing in the last 2 years. We want to invest in good projects. We want to help them go from 0 to 100 million valuations. We want to help them raise money. We want to help them in anything. But if it won't be possible, then we'll just stick with big guys, and we'll be working with big guys and trying to do some work there. So yeah.
Fantastic. I think I'm a big guy, so maybe you'll be working with me.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, no, that's very interesting indeed. Sort of during the token phase, I don't know, mid 2021 or so. It was a bit silly, a bit too volatile. But yeah,
There's nothing silly about it.
very
I want
serious.
that. If that was silly, I want that silliness back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like, when I look at a DeFi level, so probably, going from, let's say, top 10 tokens now down into the next like 70 underneath that top 10. What I'm looking to position into is what's a protocol that's been here a while and is actually generating revenue. And those do exist. So like Venus Protocol on BNB chain, it makes a lot of money. It's a profitable company at this point, and they're reshaping the XVS tokenomics to where if you as an XVS holder, just getting essentially a dividend from the protocol. So I think there are opportunities like that, but I'm not necessarily looking into like, ooh, I hope this ships a product at this point or something, because they really might not. And I'd rather. It's almost like everyone was investing in Facebook, and Twitter and whatever, and then they're like, oh wait, we need to go back to Coca-Cola because guess who's going to pay us money? It's got to be Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really no different, I guess. It's going back to the value investing of crypto, if that's a thing. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, interesting times. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds. I'm personally, like yourself, Hubert, very interested in Web3 gaming. I don't know where it's going to go. The sort of PC games for Web3 at the moment, there's probably, I can count on one hand, the ones that I actually enjoy playing and are fun. A lot of them, as I said earlier, are sort of, a reskin from a random asset pack or something, seemingly like the project just trying to wheedle a bit of funds from somewhere. But anyway, who knows? Is there anything, Hubert, that we've not asked you or not discussed that you'd like to bring up at all before we perhaps start to wrap things up?
I think we're okay. I think we covered enough. Just like last few words, I would say that we never, I wouldn't suggest you to ever jump to something that's already everyone's talking about it. So I see like many of my friends and many many colleagues, they're just jumping to something that's already there. Like if everyone is talking about it, that's already too late. So always try to find something else. Always try to find something new. Always try to be the first. Even like DeFi was had very small user base, very small amount of developers, of guys building it for the first 2-3 years. And then it grew to like billions of market capitalization. So I would suggest you to stick with something you're good and with something that's new. And that's it. Good luck.
Very good advice. If people are talking about it, it's all hyped up, you're probably too late. But at the same time, investing in something that's not very well known and low market cap, do your own research, listeners. That's the name of the game here. Do your own research. You're entirely responsible for your own funds. But But yeah, Hubert, it's been really interesting talking to you. I'm not sure I've ever sat down and had a good discussion with someone from a VC. So yeah, thank you very much. And obviously, Coinblock Capital. Have you got any? I don't know if VC firms, do you have social like groups and that sort of thing? If you do, please tell us them. So yeah, people can, I don't know, follow and go there and things.
Yeah. We don't have like a group, but I have like personal account on Twitter. Everyone can find me there. It's Trading Hubert, so just trading and then my name, written together. That's my username on Twitter and on Telegram. So anyone, if they would like to reach out or contact with me, connect or share deeper, whatever, please feel free to do, Trading Hubert, and yeah, they can find me, and that's it. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Apologies if there's funny noises in the background. My dog is trying to play with me and squeaking toys and woofing. So sorry if that makes noise. But thank you very, very much again, Hubert. It's been really interesting to talk to you. Also on our Twitter title, in the stream on Twitter, it has your account. So there, people, if you'd like to follow Hubert, there he is. I know on the little internal thing that we're all looking at now, that title up there that you can see is wrong. So ignore that one. Ben, before we wrap things up, anything that you'd like to add or say before we go?
No, I'm just ready for the weekend. It's been a long but fast week at the same time.
Yeah, I am ready for the weekend as well. Are you ready for the weekend, Hubert? Oh, sorry.
We have the Super Bowl this weekend, so.
Whoa, nice.
Ready for that.
Yeah.
That's baseball, is it?
It's actually hockey. No, it's football.
Oh, American football, though. It's the sort of spin-off from rugby, a little bit.
Yeah, the football that you throw, right?
Yeah.
Handball.
Foosball. Anyway, thank you very much, listeners, for once again, viewers, for being here. I hope you've learned a lot. We had a real action-packed episode. So thank you. And Hubert, once again, thanks so much for joining us. It's been really, really interesting talking to you. And yeah, well, hopefully, we'll talk again in the future. It's very, very interesting to get your perspective. But thank you very much, Hubert. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Au revoir now.
See you guys. Bye-bye. Thank